Hey guys, Rexasaur here, and welcome back to World of Tanks, where today we'll be reviewing the Tier 7 Chinese, I was about to say, Japanese medium tank, the Chi-Ri. The Chi-Ri is part of the Japanese medium line, which is the only line actually there, situated at Tier 7, after the Cheeto and before the STA-1. The Chi-Ri is a very weird tank. It's a medium tank, which is fair, I guess. But it has a very strange gun because it's an auto-loading gun. So let's go through the stats and I'll tell you why this is very strange. It has 1250 hit points, which is a lot for a medium tank. However, due to its size, because it is massive, if you compare it to the ISU, it's taller than the ISU. It doesn't weigh that much, but the engine power is only 550, which means it is not very fast, and it is not very mobile either. This is kind of why it's strange as well. I just dropped my phone. So the speed limit is 42 kilometers an hour, which isn't bad, but it's definitely not good for a medium tank. It's kind of more like a fast heavy. Armor wise, it's 75 on the front, 50 and 35, 50 and 35. It's pretty poor. You will sometimes bounce on the front on very rare occasions. The mantlet itself is pretty poor, and it's very small, but you will bounce if anything touches the mantlet. Unless, of course, it's like something of above 122 millimeters of caliber. Other than that, you cannot expect to bounce anything with this tank. Very rarely, your tracks will take most of the shots, but most of the time, people will just aim at you and you will literally die. View range is mediocre and signal range is pretty good. Now, why is this tank so weird? The gun selection is, well, basically, it's the same gun as on the Cheeto, but in an auto-loading format. Now, there are several things that are awesome with this, and some things that are shit. Firstly, the things that are awesome. You have 3 shells, which unload in 1 second, so in 3 seconds you've unloaded 3 shells, adding up 130 average to 390. So you do the same amount of damage as a KV-1S or an IS-3 or an IS-6, but in an auto-loaded format. So this can pose both advantages and disadvantages. The advantages being that if someone is lower, say someone is on 200 health, you don't have to unload all 3 shells, and you can maybe unload 2 shells in one person and 1 shell into another. That's really useful. However, on the negative side, it takes 3 shells, so it could be that the first 2 go in, but the second one bounces, the last one bounces because for some reason, I don't know, they angled halfway through the shots, or your shot goes wildly off because you have to aim between every shot, and it's kind of a disadvantage. Another disadvantage of this gun is that it's got quite low penetration, 155. That's not very high. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's amazing on the Cheeto, but it's not an auto-load Cheeto. But on this tank, it's mediocre. It could be better. However, the time between loading of the actual all 3 shells is only 8 seconds. So in the time you've loaded all 3 shells and unloaded the 3 shells, you can do this twice between the reload of an IS-3 or of a KV-1S. So whilst if you shoot at the same time as the KV-1S, you can shoot another time before the KV-1S is reloaded, or the IS-3 or whatever, and then you can retreat. So that's a really nice reload thing. It's really good, and I really enjoy that about the gun. That it unloads a lot of damage, and 2 times 390. That's, you unload almost 780 damage in less time than a KV-1S or an IS-3. The accuracy of the tank is pretty good, can't fault it. However, the aiming time is 1.7, which means that you do not fully aim between shells, because it only takes 1 second for the cell to reload and 1.7 for it to be fully aimed, which is kind of a disadvantage and really annoying. But it's, I don't know, more or less of the time it won't matter. But that 1.7 is really good when coming around. Another feature of this tank is its amazing depression. It's so good. However, because you're such a tall tank, sometimes it doesn't pay off. Like, you have so much depression, but you can still get hit because your tank is so big. All in all, before we go on to the replays, this tank for me is more like a fast heavy than a medium tank. It's got piss poor armor. It's not mobile enough to be a medium. It doesn't have the armor to be a heavy. The gun is definitely not good enough to be a heavy, but it's very good in case medium. However, you do still do the same alpha as a heavy would for less pen, which is kind of annoying but kind of awesome at the same time. So that's what I think about the Chiri. So let's move on to some replays. Okay guys, here we are on the first of 3 replays. Once again, 3 replays for the tier 7 mediums because tier 7 is so good, there's so many good games. This one we are top tier. This is the first 2 replays I'm going to show you are replays from yesterday. I grinded the Chiri. I've had Chiri for a long time, but I've grinded 70,000 XP yesterday, or for the past 3 days when there was the what they called the Japanese get 300,000 credits, so I got that. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the left side. As you can see, it's not really a slow tank. I said it was not mobile. It's not as mobile as most mediums. It's quite slow, but it's not that slow. I mean, 40 kilometers an hour isn't that bad, to be honest. As you can see, the premium shells for this tank are AP as well. It's not that much better. I think it's like 185, 186 penetration. It's not that much of an increase, and I rarely use APCR, but there we go. Oh, not APCR, but premium AP. So I'm coming up with this Crusader. I'm gonna go around. If I remember correctly, this game starts off pretty shit, and then just eventually just becomes slightly semi-decent. Could be worse. And a lot of games with the Chiri sort of happen like that. You're not really that good of a tank when it comes to what you can do. There we go, put the pressure. As you can see, the rapidity of how fast it fires is massively used. But with Chiri, as I was saying, you don't really get that many good games. Or as in, the games don't start off being that good, and then after that they sort of just get better with time. That something's been spotted there. As you can probably tell, not done. Artillery hits me, I take quite a bit of damage, and there we go. All the damage is happening now. Crusader's being annoying and someone's being annoying. But 1, 2, I just kill the Crusader. It's all good, and then I get shot in the side. Haven't bounced any shells. I think I bounced one, but that was like Crusader shells or anything, so it doesn't really matter. Team's doing pretty good, moving around the flank. The enemy team seems to be base camping a lot. PK's been killed, I'm going to move around. I have my 1 kill. Not really the best kill in the game, but it's better than nothing. Going around the corner and the tiger shows up. Very painful. Now, 155 pen is very good. It's not bad at all. I take another piece of damage. Now I'm really, like, it's not going well at all. I missed my last shot because I don't want to get killed by the Tiger P. And he takes a shot, so I'm going to go around. I do not have a huge reload. Like, compared to the Tiger P, we have about the same reload, so can't really go popping one-on-one. Now, reload is about 8 seconds to 7 seconds, depending on the stuff. You can put a gun rammer on this tank, which is amazing. To have a gun rammer on a autoloader, usually you can't. That's why I say that. Things like the MX-5100 or the 3090s can't have it. Put a few shots into the Tiger, and I kill him off. Kill stealing him like a boss. Moving forward. Now, if I was going to do a direct comparison, because I've played most of the tier 7 mediums now, the only ones I haven't played are any of the, there we go, random shots in the cable nest there. The only tier 7 mediums I haven't played are the German ones. I'm going to run into that rocket front because I'm saying to the KONS, sorry for shooting you. And then I say that to the team chat. Like, look at that. Look at that. Skills. Saying sorry to the KONS. Anyway, moving forward. Yeah, I was as I was saying. But, I have played all the tier 7 mediums, and the Chiri has to be my second favourite, or my third. It's very close between that and the T-34-1. The Comet is by far my favourite tier 7 medium. The T-34-1 is so good as well. I don't know, actually, the Comet might not be. I leave that guy on 6 HP, which is great. But yeah, I don't know. It's very close between the Comet and the T-34-1, and the Chiri comes behind them both. And that's the victory of this game. So let's look at the results, and I'll carry on my story after the results. So here's the results screen, getting almost 1500 XP, a lot of money, second mastery class, and coming top, oh actually second, a Comet managed to beat me to the top place, but doing most damage on my team, which is troll. And we will go on to the next replay. Okay guys, welcome to Fiery Salient, where we are playing our next replay. Right, let's go. This is once again a top tier game. The next game will not be top tier, it will be a tier 9 game to show you that the tank does perform admirably in both top tier and bottom tier. Yeah, top tier and bottom tier places. Anyway, as I was going on before we watched the result screen for the last battle, I play the Chiri comes below the Comet and the T-34-1. I think the Chiri, the reason that is because the Chiri is either not mobile enough or it's too big for its own good. The fact that its size matters so much, and you will see in this replay especially that the size of the Chiri is such a disadvantage for the tank. Also the lack of armor and the amount, if you look at the enemy team, they have 3 artillery pieces, including 2 tier 5s which are really fast firing. Those disadvantages just make the Chiri not as good as the Comet or the T-34-1. The T-34-1 I think and the Comet are both so close because they're different and yet so similar. So much damage. Looking back on this replay, I can't believe I did most of the things I did. But yeah, so we spotted the Comet, the Cromwell, the VK-28-1. But yeah, the T-34-1 is such a good hard-hitting medium, while the Comet is a good rate of fire one. This is so in between. It's weird. Anyway, K1 is spotted there. I'm going to put some shots into it. 5 shots, only 2 pen. As you can see, that's one of the disadvantages of this tank, as I was saying with the autoloader, is the fact that you have 3 shells, all 3 have to hit to actually do something. Artillery hits me in the side, that was either the Bishop, I probably was the Bishop, doing a heck of a lot of damage to me. And there's the a T-34 there, there's a VK, who stops like a total idiot and gets shot in the face by me. Now I'm going to reverse into this random crater and then go forward a grand crater, and artillery hits me because I'm an idiot. So I get damaged and I go forward. K1 gets destroyed by our tanks. As you can see, there's a lot of our tanks on the 2 line. And I'm the only medium. I mean, we have a Crusader who's not even doing his job properly. I'm trying to spot the enemy here, which is really bad because I don't have 6th sense. I have 6th sense now, but because I got the SD one, it's on that. Actually, I don't even have 6th sense on that tank. That's a lie. But yeah, not having 6th sense mean that this is really bad, because if I get spotted and I reverse, I could get RT'd really easily because I have no armor. Yeah, I have been one-shotted by tier 8 RT in this tank. It is one of the most annoying things that could happen. And move up, see if I can spot anything, but no, nothing much. Have a little do I know that I have been spotted. There's a Hellcat. Now that Hellcat spots all of our tanks, and I'm going to try and kill for quite a while. Doing long range fighting with a autoloader is both annoying and awesome, because if you miss your first, you can also, like, that's the thing, if you miss your first you can try again, and although sometimes you won't miss your first 2 and you'll miss your last, it works both ways. You see, if you miss your first, you still get 2 shots and you haven't wasted all your shells, which is really nice. There's this Sturmil. All these shots seem to go towards him and then they just sort of go low. It's really weird. I find a lot with this tank, I don't know why, but if you hit the tracks you will never go through and it will always kill the tracks, and it's really annoying. Tanks have been spotted on the left side. There's the Hellcat, and put 2 shots into him. Tanks will be spotted on the 0 line, and I'm going to turn around to try and get it eventually. I'm going to put some blind shots on the Hellcat. Really stupid blind shots, I probably shouldn't even go for them. Yeah, now I'm going to focus on the left side because I have to. Oh, it's not that I have to, but I feel like I have to. There's a T-25-2. There we go, he's dead. There's a tank less to worry about. The Hellcat's been spotted again. And there's a P25. I get shot by the Jumbo, and I bounce several times. Now, although I'm going to actually look where that bounced. I think that bounced. Well, that got right. Yeah, this tank is bouncy, but it's not. You can't expect it to bounce at that distance. I'm assuming the Jumbo did not have the top gun, which is probably why it bounced it. But you can't expect your tank to bounce, but you can't expect it not to bounce either. It's kind of weird. That's why, I don't know, the tank is so strange. I have had fun playing it though. It has been a fun little tank to play. I say little, it's massive. It has been a fun tank to play. Would I recommend it to any of you? I don't know. It suits such a strange playstyle that I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't buy it again. Unlike things like the Tiger 2 or the Comet eventually, or the T341, should I ever want to go back to play those tanks. I don't know, I definitely wouldn't buy it again, but it's not the most excruciating grind. I mean, I did the grind in, well, that cable just got absolutely destroyed by me. What was I saying? Yeah, I can't remember what I was saying, to be honest. So we're just going to ignore what I was saying and focus on that bishop. And kill it. There we go. Fuck you, RT. Kill them. Our cat's been spotted. He gets killed by someone that isn't me. Sad face. Yeah, there you go. He gets killed. And then we're going to come across, there's RT on both sides. Going to try and kill them. Not really much. We're going to see the results screen very soon. GW Panther is spotted. Going to put a few shots into him. Not going to kill him though, because the last shot completely misses. Like a total jerk ass. There is the M41 who's going to get killed by something else that isn't me. And then the GW Panther trying to hit a sneaky shot, but it's too late. So now let's look at the results screen for this battle. In a second class mastery badge and Confederate in this battle, almost 1400 damage, 1400 XP, sorry, with premium account of course, getting top XP and almost top, I think, yeah, top damage as well, because the Chiri is badass like that, getting itself top damage in most occasions, also putting out a lot of shots. Anyway, going on to the final replay now. Okay, we're back. This replay is from 9.0 before I start, so there might be a few bugs and shit that happen. Anyway, before I was interrupted by a cable inferno put on fire, I remembered exactly what I was talking about. I was talking about how the grind of the Chiri was and how enjoyable it is. Now, I enjoyed the tank even though I grinded it in about 3 days. I had the tank for a while, as I was saying, for about definitely over like 4 or 5 months. But I grinded about 70,000 XP in 3 days, and it wasn't that bad of a grind. It wasn't hard. Most of the time I got about 1,000 XP. This is with premium account. I got about 1,000 XP every game, definitely, and it's very easy to get that amount. And I don't know why it's very easy. Sometimes I have these games where I get 800 damage, and I come second, and I get 1,000 XP with premium. I'm just like, what? This did not deserve that much XP. Anyway, I'm gonna go into town. I adore this map. I don't know, this tactic on this map is amazing. So just go up to that middle section, you can put side shots into it, you defend the cap, just so much stuff. There's an enemy Chiri. Now I do apologise about this, this is because this is a 9.0 replay and we're now 9.2, 9.3, I don't even know what we're on now. I think it's 9.2. I don't know if I can zoom in further actually. How do I? How do I do that? There's a T29 there. It's going to put a shot into me. Sexy Chiri. I don't even know if I'm stocked. This is one of the really early replays. As you see, I had the tank when 9.0. So put a few shots into him. Going to reload. Such a good tank. At this stage, I always like the Chiri is my favourite tank of all time, but it's not. It's definitely, I don't know, it's a good tank, but it's such a strange playstyle. It doesn't suit everyone, I don't think. And I set him on fire. I don't know what I would have... This tank is unique. There is no tank like it. It resembles... Like, the way you play it is like a lightly armoured medium tank or even a light tank. But in heavy positions. It's weird. Such a strange little thing. Yeah, we're going to move across, going to do some side shots. Shoot at the IS. There we go. I've put it into free cam so that we don't get the weird little gun things. And I've reloaded in time to shoot more at the IS. Haha! Kill the IS. And move forward. Doing pretty good. Our team's moving up swiftly up the 0 line, and one of them just died. And we're going to move into the camp area to put some flanking shots into any tank that might be there. IS gets spotted, not looking at me, so I'm going to go around, put some shots into the back of his head to try and amrack him, and I miss my last shot. Then he gets shot by the T-30, who has a 120. Almost shoots me. The IS shoots him, which is nice. I get shot by my friendly KV-3, who did a really low roll. Unless that was... no, never mind, that's a 107. Not the 122. There's a T-26E4, who's not looking at me. I'm not going to steal the kill though. The IS-2 is there. This is a really bad move on my behalf because there are tanks over here that have just been spotted. Well, haven't been spotted, but have disappeared. And there they all are. Luckily, the T-30 is right behind me, so he's going to take most of the shots, hopefully. Put a shot there, and a shot, and another shot. IS-2 is pretty scrubbed out. I'm surprised that those ones have just started firing on the T-30 and they didn't fire earlier. I'm going to do some long distance shots. I only pen one of those. Now, 155 penetration on paper seems really rubbish, but in actual fact, it's not that bad, especially with this gun. I don't know why. It's not that bad at all. Bounce my last shell, and he's on fire, but I do manage to... oh no, actually the kill bit's stolen off me. That was the Yarg Tiger. And all that's left is a Centurion 1. Doing a lot of damage. I'm surprised that we didn't die, and we didn't actually take that much damage. I don't know, must be luck. The only most of the damage we took was from friendlies. Took more front damage from friendlies than everyone else. Right, and then we're just going to move up and he's going to die. So there we go, that's the Cheery for you. 3 pretty good replays. 2 at top tier, which you can imagine the tank does really well in, and a bottom tier, which, you know, it fares pretty well. So now let's look at the replays, the result screen, sorry, and I will give you my opinion on the tank. So we have a Mastery First Class, not First Class, Mastery badge with Confederate once again. The Cheery seems to get Confederate a lot. Getting top XP and nowhere near top damage, but that's because it's a tier 9 game, so I wouldn't expect it. But top XP in a Cheery in a tier 9 game, pretty good. And then getting ourselves a nice little 4k XP because times 2. Lol. So the Cheery, very good tank in my opinion. Very weird playstyle. I would recommend it if you're willing to experiment, and it's a tank that you can't have played before. It's impossible. No other tank is similar to it. At least no other tank that I've played is similar to the way the Cheery is played and the way that it acts in battle. Anyway, that's my opinion on the Cheery. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you next time.